here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Yeah, here. Giants with a blueprint on how to be relative. Now, one of the things, before I start, reading this, it's kind of brought back some kind of memories of yesteryear, right? The first Super Bowl year. The Giants, Giants had a good defense. And I don't know because when they lost their game to the Bears in the playoffs, they lost 21-0. Right? Because then it was 21-0. And then the following week, the Bears won 24-0. Yeah, they beat the Rams. But the thing is that the Giants in that playoff game in '85, they lost to the Bears 21-0. Now 21-0. So when they go into the draft the following season, they had a first-round pick. They had 4 second-round picks, and then had a third-round pick. So in the first 3 rounds, they had 6 picks. Now, when you go up against a really good defense and you score no points, one more time for the hearing impaired, no points, and you got 6 picks in the first 3 rounds, don't you think you might want to maybe try to help the offense a little bit? No. Yeah, we're going to take all defense. I don't know. I guess maybe he thought maybe Parcells or maybe Young. I guess he was the one, right? Young was the one drafted. I guess maybe he thought maybe next time they faced the Bears, maybe they faced them in the playoffs in '86, which didn't happen. Maybe there would be a 0-0 shutout, and maybe they'd have to go to maybe shooting baskets or something. I don't know. But the first 6 picks he took in the 1986 draft were all defense, so the defense got even a little bit better, right? But so meaning like the Giants in the past, having good defenses, right? Giants had a good defense last year, and what they did, they want to make it even a little bit better this year, right? They had a real good pass rush last year. For whatever it was, halfway through the season or so, I think we led the NFL. We were up to like 35 sacks or whatever it was after 7 games or whatever it was, 8 games or whatever it was. I think we were leading the league, and of course that tallied off. I tailed off, toward the end. But you take something what you got good and you make it really, really good. Like with the Giants, kind of like in '85, they had a pretty good defense, right? They had Banks, right? You had Carson, you had some guy by the name of LT, right? Leonard Marshall, Jim Burt, George Martin, right? And they made the defense even better, right? So the kind of like the blueprint here, what they're talking about in this article, right? Giants have found the blueprint that finally makes them relevant. New York could be lethal in this department in 2025. And I think we all know where we're coming from here, right? What we're all talking about. Giants are in a tough spot as a franchise right now. It appears that they might have a lame duck general manager and a head coach who is undoubtedly on the hot seat. They finished a distant 4th in the NFC East during the 2024 season, and it doesn't appear they are close to contending in one of the toughest divisions in the league. And yet, there's still a lot of optimism coming out of the offseason for the Giants. They signed Russell Wilson, Jaxson Dart. While it's unclear how much of or how little Dart will play during his rookie season, the fact that he's on the roster gives the Giants fans some hope that he could be the guy moving forward. But that's not the only reason why the Giants are excited about their upcoming season. They have one of the league's best young receivers in Malik Neighbors and several intriguing pieces on offense. However, it's the potential of the defense that has the fans pumped up about the upcoming season. In a recent article by Dan Dugan of The Athletic, he wrote about the biggest observation he had during the offseason workouts for the Giants. And his take is that it's become increasingly apparent that the Giants could have a dominant pass rush this season. Here's a snippet of his thoughts on the unit coming out of the practices. And he wrote, "This pass rush could be a game changer. The Giants have lacked an identity during the first 3 years of the Joe Shane and Brian Dable era," which is true. It's true. But the selection of outside linebacker Abdul Carter could be a game changer. Teaming Carter with Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau should give the Giants pass rush capable of dominating games. The sky is the limit for the Giants pass rush unit in 2025. On any one play, the Giants can roll out 4 first-round picks on the defensive line, kind of like with the Washington team. Whatever, it's the Washington football team, the Washington Commanders, the Washington Redskins, the WTFs, the WFTs, the Washington, whatever you want to call them. Of course, they had those 4 first-round picks on their defensive line, too. But on any one play, the Giants can roll out 4 first-round picks on the defensive line, all of whom are 27 years of age or younger. Not bad. Lawrence might be the best defensive tackle in the league, and the Giants are hopeful that Carter can have a similar impact as another fellow Nittany Lion, Micah Parsons. Those 4 players alone will qualify as one of the league's best defensive lines, but the Giants have some incredible depth on the unit. Chauncey Golston, who's a free agent signing from Dallas, is coming off the best season of his career. Darius Alexander was a 3rd-round pick by the Giants this year and projects as a disruptive pass rusher right away at the defensive tackle. Then you got Nacho, gives the Giants another big-body defensive lineman who can help out on early downs, although I'm not overly thrilled over the moon with Nacho. But then we brought in some other defensive linemen as well, too, right? Ledbetter, right? Giants have had a lot of success as a franchise by building up the defensive line and stopping elite offenses. They'll have to do that in the NFC East if they want to have success, but they certainly have the talent to do so moving forward. The offense can be functional this year and keep them in the games. It should allow them to show off their elite pass rush even more. Time will tell how this season turns out for the Giants, but the fact that they finally have an identity for the first time during the Brian Dable era is excellent news for the franchise. Expect the Giants to be near the league leaders in sacks this year, especially if Carter can have a significant impact right away. Now, one of the things, like in the past, the Giants, I've always tried, a lot of times I've always had a really good defense, obviously, right? And you still think about what this defense can do right here. Then you figure if like in next year, right, in the draft, if we can add somebody else, I don't know, right? Add a linebacker, add another defensive tackle, beef up, get that defense, man, could you imagine if Alexander turns out to be the real deal? Really pretty good. We got Dexter Lawrence. We got Golston. Add another defense. We got like 3 different edge rushers between, Carter, Kayvon, and Burnsy. Add another, maybe a line off-ball linebacker, another defensive tackle, or somebody, a real good guy in the secondary. Wow. Especially if you figure if Banks isn't wind up being, doesn't wind up being all we thought he possibly could. We're hoping he could be, right? And somebody else in the second, imagine, if this defense is really good, and then the next season, right, you add another, maybe a good depth piece or so, or we sign a couple like Belton or Flott, right? But in the draft, you draft somebody early on, add to this, then a lot of teams would be like, basically, right? It was like 2022, right? We went to the playoffs. What were we? Were we explosive? Were we great? Were we unbelievable on defense? Were we there? Where were we? Right? Won a lot of close games, and we kept it at the back. Daniel Jones ran the ball a lot. Saquon, ran the ball a lot, and all that. But did we really have an unbelievable identity or anything like that? No. But what they're talking about in this article, right? The Giants finally for the first time, right? It's like, the Giants might lose, but I tell you what, that defense is, holy, you know what I mean? So finally, for the first time, Giants might have an identity, right? And I said that the way it was back in the '80s. I was a lot of times it was all where we at there. I was like almost kind of like annoyed, right? Where the offense was on the field. Almost kind of annoyed because I want to see the defense on the field. When you're growing up in the '80s and you got Harry Cars and you have Leonard Marshall, you got some sacks, George Martin, you got Burt, you got Banks, and you got Tammy. You want the defense on the field. I'm like, man, I want the offense on. I don't care. We score some points. Who cares? Let's get the defense on the field. Let's see what they can do. You know what I mean? So, there were a lot of times back in the '80s I wanted the defense on the field. I want to see what's the defense going to do. Smack some people around, right? So finally, it would be nice to get finally for the Giants to get an identity, right? And then finally, I seen this. Now, I see stuff for Rookie of the Year or Defensive Rookie of the Year or whatever like that. But the accolades keep kind of rolling out there for Mr. Carter, right? Abdul Carter named to the prestigious preseason rookie list. Abdul Carter is among a select group of rookies who could be the most impactful in 2025. And obviously, I've seen a lot of them with Mr. Carter here, right? That he could be, one of the leading candidates, shall we say, for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Right?